In 216 BCE, exhausted Roman couriers raced north from Cannae, carrying news that an enormous Roman army had been shattered. Throughout Rome, anxious families gathered in public spaces, while senators and magistrates waited for reliable information about the survivors. Ancient sources disagree about the casualties, but every surviving account describes a catastrophic Roman defeat on the plains of Apulia. Rumors swept through the crowded streets, forcing Roman leaders to control public mourning and prevent fear from overwhelming the city. Adult citizens reinforced the gates, guarded the battlements, and prepared Rome's formidable Servian wall for an assault that seemed dangerously possible. Far to the south, Hannibal surveyed the field beside officers drawn from the many people serving within his army. News of Cannae encouraged several southern Italian communities to reconsider whether remaining loyal to Rome could still protect them. From Rome's battlements, frightened citizens watched the southern roads, fearing Carthaginian cavalry might appear beyond the surrounding hills. Days passed without an attack, while Hannibal remained in southern Italy, and Rome struggled to understand his unexpected decision. Why did Hannibal refuse to attack Rome when one more march might have transformed the entire Mediterranean world? To understand how Hannibal became Rome's most dangerous enemy, we must return to Carthage several decades before Cannae. Carthage was among the Western Mediterranean's wealthiest powers, commanding extensive commercial networks protected by an experienced naval force. Its growing rivalry with the Roman Republic eventually erupted into the First Punic War, largely fought for control of Sicily. After 23 exhausting years of warfare, Carthage surrendered Sicily and accepted a heavy financial indemnity imposed by victorious Rome. Rome later seized Sardinia, while Carthage faced a dangerous internal revolt, deepening resentment between the two Mediterranean powers. Hannibal's father, Hamilcar Barca, responded by leading Carthaginian forces into Iberia to rebuild their wealth and military strength. Iberian silver mines, fertile territory, and local recruits gradually created a powerful new foundation for Carthaginian recovery and expansion. Young Hannibal accompanied his father, growing up among military camps, diplomatic negotiations, and campaigns across the unfamiliar Iberian landscape. Ancient historians later claim that 9-year-old Hannibal swore before a sacred altar to remain Rome's enemy throughout his life. The oath's precise details remain uncertain, but Hannibal unquestionably matured within a family determined to challenge Roman power again. Hamilcar's death, his son-in-law Hasdrubal the Fair assumed command and strengthened Carthaginian authority throughout southern Iberia. He expanded diplomacy with Iberian communities and founded New Carthage as a strategic center for trade, government, and military supplies. When Hasdrubal's leadership ended suddenly through assassination, the army needed a commander capable of preserving its hard-won unity. The soldiers acclaimed Hannibal as their commander, and Carthaginian authorities later confirmed his appointment when he was approximately 26. Ancient accounts describe a leader who shared military hardships, understood his soldiers, and earned respect through endurance rather than ceremony. His army combined Libyan infantry, Numidian cavalry, Iberian warriors, and Balearic slingers, each bringing different battlefield strengths. The first great crisis of his command centered on Saguntum, a fortified Iberian city maintaining important political connections with Rome. The legal meaning of those connections remained disputed, but Hannibal's decision to besiege Saguntum created an unavoidable diplomatic confrontation. After a difficult 8-month siege, Saguntum fell, prompting Rome to demand Hannibal's surrender and Carthage to refuse. Rome expected the coming war to cross the Mediterranean, but Hannibal selected an overland route his enemies barely considered possible. In 218 BCE, Hannibal led his army northward from Iberia, crossing the Pyrenees before advancing rapidly through southern Gaul. Roman forces reached the Mediterranean coast of Gaul hoping to intercept him, but Hannibal had already continued toward the Rhone. At the wide Rhone River, Carthaginian engineers constructed timber rafts to transport soldiers, horses, supplies, and elephants across safely. As autumn advanced, the army approached the Alps, where towering slopes and hostile communities guarded the narrow mountain passages. Narrow tracks, sudden temperature changes, and steep drops forced the column to advance slowly while protecting animals and supplies. Mountain warriors attacked exposed sections of the marching column, forcing Hannibal's soldiers to defend both their route and baggage. Ancient accounts describe damaged pathways and rockfalls blocking the descent, requiring soldiers to clear a route through unstable ground. Cold, hunger, exhaustion, and repeated attacks reduced the army considerably, although ancient sources disagree about its original size and losses. When the surviving troops reached the upper descent, the green plains of northern Italy finally appeared beneath the mountains. The crossing was not an elephant spectacle, but a strategic maneuver that placed Hannibal's army unexpectedly inside Roman territory. Near the Ticinus River, Hannibal's mobile Numidian cavalry defeated Roman horsemen and demonstrated their importance to his Italian campaign. At the Trebia River, Hannibal provoked the Roman commander into sending hungry soldiers through freezing water before their formations were ready. While the main armies fought, Mago led concealed troops from a nearby depression and attacked the exposed Roman rear. The victory at Trebia strengthened Hannibal's reputation and encouraged additional Gallic communities to provide soldiers, food, and local intelligence. The following year, Hannibal selected the narrow road beside Lake Trasimene and concealed his forces among the surrounding hills. Consul Gaius Flaminius followed aggressively, leading his marching column into the confined space between the misty hills and lakeshore. Carthaginian forces descended from several directions, breaking the Roman column before its soldiers could establish an organized battle line. Determined to end the threat, Rome assembled 8 legions with allied troops for a decisive confrontation at Cannae in 216 BCE. Hannibal placed Gallic and Iberian infantry in a curved center, ordering them to withdraw gradually as the Romans advanced. Libyan infantry closed against both Roman flanks while returning cavalry sealed the rear, completing Hannibal's famous double envelopment. The extraordinary victory at Cannae, Hannibal faced a decision that historians would continue debating for more than 2,000 years. According to a famous ancient account, cavalry commander Maharbal urged Hannibal to march immediately toward Rome before its defenses recovered. Livy attributes a sharp criticism to Maharbal, but historians cannot confirm whether the celebrated conversation actually occurred as recorded. Hannibal's army had survived years of marching and repeated battles, but its experienced soldiers and equipment could not be replaced easily. Unlike an open battlefield, Rome presented formidable stone walls, defended gates, and a population preparing actively for a prolonged resistance. A conventional assault required heavy siege equipment that Hannibal lacked, while a blockade demanded secure supplies and substantial reinforcements. Maintaining an extended siege deep inside central Italy would expose Carthaginian supply routes to Roman armies and loyal communities. His strategy instead appears to have focused on separating Italian communities from Rome, until its alliance system collapsed politically. Capua and several southern communities changed sides, yet many central Italian allies remained loyal and continued supporting Roman resistance. Attacking Rome might have transformed the war or destroyed Hannibal's irreplaceable army, making restraint a calculated gamble rather than simple hesitation. Even before Cannae, Fabius Maximus had demonstrated how Rome could contain Hannibal without risking another disastrous direct confrontation. Following Cannae, Roman commanders increasingly avoided battles chosen by Hannibal, while carefully monitoring his movements across southern Italy. Smaller Roman units targeted Carthaginian foragers, isolated detachments, and vulnerable supply columns without challenging Hannibal's main army directly. Rome repeatedly raised new legions, using its large population and organized institutions to replace losses that Carthage could not easily match. The Senate also worked to preserve loyal Italian alliances, providing military protection while demanding soldiers, supplies, and continued political cooperation. Meanwhile, Roman campaigns in Iberia attacked the territories supplying Hannibal with silver, soldiers, weapons, and potential reinforcements. Hannibal remained a dangerous battlefield commander for years, but his army gradually became isolated from Carthage's wider resources and support. In 207 BCE, his brother Hasdrubal crossed the Alps with a relief army, hoping to unite their forces inside Italy. Roman armies intercepted Hasdrubal near the Metaurus River, defeating his force before either brother could establish contact with the other. Rome could not reliably defeat Hannibal under his chosen conditions, so it dismantled the wider system supporting his campaign. As Hannibal's support weakened in Italy, a younger Roman commander emerged with a strategy capable of transforming the entire war. Publius Cornelius Scipio learned from Rome's earlier defeats, developing a more flexible approach to coordinating infantry, cavalry, and battlefield movement. Despite his relative youth, Scipio received command in Iberia, where earlier Roman leaders had suffered serious defeats against Carthaginian forces. He captured New Carthage through a carefully coordinated assault, gaining weapons, money, hostages, and control of an important harbor. Further Roman victories gradually dismantled the Barcid power base, cutting Carthage away from Iberian silver, recruits, and strategic territory. After returning to Rome, Scipio proposed invading North Africa, forcing Carthage to defend its homeland and recall Hannibal from Italy. Although several Roman politicians opposed the plan, Scipio secured authorization and landed his army along the North African coast. His decisive alliance with Massinissa provided experienced Numidian cavalry and shifted the region's political balance away from Carthaginian leadership. Facing Roman forces near Carthage, its leaders ordered Hannibal home, ending his long campaign on the Italian peninsula. The man who had spent years threatening Rome now crossed the Mediterranean to defend Carthage against an advancing Roman army. In 202 BCE, Hannibal and Scipio deployed their armies on open ground near Zama for the war's decisive confrontation. Ancient accounts describe a meeting before battle, where both commanders reportedly explored peace before returning to their waiting armies. Hannibal positioned a large elephant force before his infantry, hoping their charge would disrupt the Roman formations before contact. Scipio arranged open lanes within his infantry, and placed experienced skirmishers ahead to manage the approaching elephant charge. Noise, javelins, and disciplined movement redirected several elephants through the prepared gaps, while others moved away toward the flanks. Massinissa's Numidian cavalry and Roman horsemen drove their opponents away, leaving the central infantry battle without Carthaginian cavalry support. The infantry struggle remained closely contested until Hannibal's experienced veterans confronted Scipio's reorganized Roman line across the open ground. The balance changed when Roman and Numidian cavalry returned, striking the Carthaginian rear while its infantry faced Roman pressure ahead. Hannibal suffered the decisive major defeat of his campaign, forcing Carthage to seek peace and ending the Second Punic War. The settlement restricted Carthage's military freedom, while victorious Scipio received the name Africanus and returned to Rome in triumph. After the war, Hannibal returned to public life in Carthage, where he confronted corruption and reformed the city's administration. Financial measures improved public revenue, helping Carthage meet Roman payments without placing excessive new burdens upon ordinary citizens. These reforms challenged powerful political interests, whose representatives accused Hannibal of preparing Carthage for another confrontation with Rome. Under increasing Roman pressure, Hannibal left Carthage and traveled between eastern Mediterranean courts opposed to Rome's expanding influence. Several Hellenistic rulers welcomed his experience, employing the former Carthaginian commander as a military and political advisor. Roman diplomats continued demanding his removal, proving that Hannibal remained a respected and feared opponent long after Zama. His double envelopment at Cannae became an enduring study of timing, disciplined withdrawal, and coordinated attacks against an advancing enemy. His Alpine crossing also demonstrated extraordinary logistical ambition and an ability to lead a multicultural army through extreme hardship. Hannibal won remarkable battles, but Rome possessed greater manpower, stronger alliances, and institutions capable of surviving repeated military disasters. If Hannibal had attacked Rome after Cannae, would he have transformed history or lost everything years before Zama? This is Mega Alpha Tech. If you enjoyed Hannibal's story, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves history. More extraordinary stories are already waiting for you, so explore the previous episodes and continue the journey with us.